Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is actually quite a common problem for a lot of women once they reach their post-menopause years. Now basically this is due to the drop in estrogen levels. It's gradually been dropping through perimenopause, then you hit your menopause, and then your post-menopause years. The first few years after going into post-menopause, there is a big drop in your estrogen levels. Estrogen's really beneficial for keeping your bones strong and healthy. So obviously many years of having less of it is going to really affect your bone structure. The thing with osteoporosis, unfortunately, and I actually find this quite frightening, is it's a silent thing. You can't see it and you can't feel it. So unless you have an accident where you end up with a fracture or a broken bone, particularly in a situation where you wouldn't have expected that to happen because it wasn't a really bad accident, it wasn't a really bad fall, you're highly unlikely to know that your bone structure has been weakened. So you go along and you see the doctor because you're going to need treatment. You may well be offered a bone scan, and a bone density scan is probably the only sure way of definitely seeing whether or not your bones have been weakened to the point where you have osteoporosis. Whether or not you can pay for it privately, if you're just personally worried about it or you have a family history of it, I'm unsure. It will depend on where you live, and also of course it depends on your budget. I don't imagine private bone scans are cheap. So as I say, unfortunately it's one of those things that you can't just look at yourself and think, oh, I'm developing osteoporosis, what can I do? There are things you can do to help prevent it, or even to stop your osteoporosis from deteriorating further if you've already been diagnosed with it. And there are a few simple basic things. So you need to make sure you've got plenty of calcium rich foods in your diet. Getting enough vitamin D through your diet, and also from short bouts of sunlight, which can be difficult, depends where you live, how many months of sunlight you're likely to get during the year. But sunlight on bare skin, short periods only, don't burn or blister. Your body makes its own vitamin D literally through having sunlight on the skin. And magnesium, you do need enough magnesium in your diet. Magnesium is really important for bone health and bone strength. Now both say the magnesium and the calcium and the vitamin D. Now you can get those in supplement form. So if you feel that your diet may be lacking a little, you can get those in supplement form. Magnesium spray you can also get, so you can put it directly onto your joints and muscles, and it does go into the body, so you can get magnesium in that way. Exercise is important for keeping your bones strong. So the two main types of exercise for bone strength and bone health are resistance exercise and weight bearing exercise. So resistance exercise is all about pulling and pushing and lifting. So things like weights you can incorporate. It doesn't have to be, you know, bodybuilding weights, but you can incorporate using light weights into your exercise. Press ups, which I'm rubbish at, but press ups are also good. Using a resistance band as part of your exercise routine as well, because it literally gives that extra resistance, makes things a little bit more difficult to do, but really good for your bones. Yoga and Pilates, they're both good for strong bones. Also they're good for your mindset, and they're also good for your suppleness as well, so they help your joints in general too. The weight bearing exercise is, again, that sounds like you've got to be a weightlifter, but it's not about bearing weights as in, you know, pumping iron. It's about bearing your own body weight. So any exercise you do where you're bearing your own body weight, for example, walking, preferably brisk walking, dancing. Dancing's good, whether you go ballroom dancing or you just dance, you know, dance around the kitchen. Dancing's really good for that as well. And running, if you can get into running, that is really good for your bones as well. Now I know they're just a few general tips. I have written an article, Does the Menopause Cause Osteoporosis? There's a lot more information in there about osteoporosis, how it affects you, what you can do about it. So lots more tips, and there's also some tips for helping you to do simple things in your home to eliminate the risk of further falls and further fractures. So take a look at that. The link is in the description of this video. If you would like to know when more videos are coming up on the channel, then there's a notification bell below, and if you'd like to subscribe, there's a subscribe button there too. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.